Hello. Welcome to my Easter video. I believe, oh, yep, we're recording. Sorry. I know it was like this long pause. I have this really cute card for you today that is kind of Easter, kind of spring. I don't always send Easter cards, but I thought, well, I'll design a card that might can just be sent to as an encouragement card. So I call this my Hello Spring Easter Basket card. I am using the Easter Basket bundle, the dies and the stamps. And the cute thing about these dies, it cuts out an Easter basket. Look at this cute little Easter basket. This will try your patience because there are also strips that will cut out. This cuts out individual strips and then you can weave it. You could do different colors. I just chose to make mine monochromatic. Cuts out, die cuts the grass. And this cute little box, I have instructions somewhere, but I decided I didn't really want to make a whole lot of those. But from the card that I made for my class, we didn't cut out the strips to weave the basket, but there's still plenty of detail on this card. One of the cute things that we did, I reminded them of, is the masking technique. And that's why I thought I would do a video for this card. The paper, all right, let me, so I'm calling this my Hello Spring Easter Basket card. It's got some cute embellishments. Those are the Easter assortment. I will put a description with a link of the card. And the paper, all right, I'm learning once again new techniques here, is Easter Joy Specialty Pattern paper. This designer series paper has, it's shiny. It has a little bit of metal texture, kind of these copper accents. And it's a heavier paper than our usual specialty or designer series paper. But it's definitely Easter. It has the flowers and eggs, and it's a really nice set of A sides that are shiny, B sides that aren't, that are more the different patterns, like the back side of that one. So let's get started on this card. This one takes just a little bit because you do have stamping that needs to be done and coloring. So my Hello Spring is in the stamp set. I've got it hidden here. For you, happy Easter, and Easter's on its way. My goal was to use just about every stamp in this set on this card because it's such a short season and I wanted to use what I had bought. So I'm stamping it in Peach Pie, which is one of the in colors. This one is not going away. This one is good for another year. But as you know, we're coming to the end of the Stampin' Up year. So the 2024-26 in colors will be retiring. The new catalog comes out May the 5th. If you would like a catalog, you are going to have to reach out to me either by email, comment on this video, and let me know that you would like a catalog. If you are a customer, like have ordered in the last year or so, then you probably are going to already get one. I have placed that order they'll be delivered in the mail. But if I missed you and you let me know, then I can mail you one because I've got a package on its way. Alrighty. I'm just doing the stamping on this. We're going to cut that out, but if I do it now, I will lose it. How about if we go ahead and put the inside piece so I can begin to kind of get rid of pieces. I don't have so much hanging out here to get lost. Yesterday I was making cards and I had die cut this little butterfly. And I had laid it on the card and I knew where I was going to put it. And I was putting all the other pieces on and I got ready to put that little tiny butterfly on it. Couldn't find it. Could not find it. It was stuck to the back of the ink pad that was next to it. Because I found it later. Of course, I cut another one. And I knew that would happen because it nearly always does. Wasn't in the floor. By the way, I did not introduce myself. My name is Mary Lou Foster, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Northeast Texas. And I happen to be doing this video on Palm Sunday afternoon. I had classes this past week, and I've got a bunch of tubs and I have card kits that need to be kind of worked, put away. I'm going to try coloring the inside of this little rabbit's ear pink. I don't know if it'll show up or not. I stamped it on crumb cake. I'm going to add some highlight, a little shadowing to this cute little bunny. He's got a loppy ear. I don't know, we always kind of think that Easter means bunny. The Easter bunny comes. I guess kind of a harbinger of spring. That's a big word, harbinger. So I've kind of been all over the place here. I told you about the end of the calendar year and that a new catalog's coming out. So that means 2 catalogs are going to be retiring. Give his tail a little detail. I will die cut this out before I put him on. But let's work on our basket seam. So I die cut a circle out of the stitched shapes because it needed a kind of a central place for everything with that busy background. All right, I'm going to start with the flower. Here is the flower. Use the Memento Black. One thing, there's lots of new things, but one thing that's coming out is a new ink pad. They're calling it a hybrid ink pad. And it's called hybrid because you'll be able to use both our alcohol markers, and which are the blending brushes, and our watercolor pencils that you use water to blend. In the past, you had to use what we call StazOn with them because it would cause right here, it will cause your black to smear. Okay, let me start a different story here. Here's where the masking technique comes in. See how these 3 eggs are kind of layered on top of each other, but they don't cover each other up? I'm going to show you how to do that. It's called masking. I'm using our masking paper that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. It's a thinner paper. It is adhesive. So let me stamp an egg on it. And you're like, why are you doing that? I'll show you. Just hang on with me. Because I'm going to cut that little egg out. That's going to become my mask. And it's going to get kind of messy because I'm going to use it to cover up the egg that I am going to stamp. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you really cut real close to the black lines because you want your stamping. So the hard part, you want your stamping to the black lines to come together so it doesn't really look like that you mask it. The paper on the back is a little tricky to get off, but you just kind of start working with the edge. All right, so I'm going to ink up. I'm using the basket kind of as a marker. I'm going to do that one first, and I'm going to cover it then with that masking paper. And I've stamped the masking paper so I would know kind of what size. And you're like, oh, you messed it up because you stamped on top of your egg. No, I didn't. Using the sharp end of my pick tool. Look at that. It looks like it's behind everybody else. And then for this egg, I think I'm going to do what I was telling the ladies that they could do. Just going to bring my scrap. I'm going to stamp an egg on a separate sheet of basic white, and I'm going to layer it on top. So when I color my eggs, I'll color that one. Then the chick, I was thinking I might want to cover this egg up. So when I stamp my chick, if I end up kind of overlapping, it's not going to mess up my eggs. I don't have to worry about spacing. So when I take this off again, look at that. Then the carrot. And I stamped 2 carrots on mine, but I overlapped them because I didn't take the time to make a mask. But I thought for you today, we'll do a mask so that we get the same effect or same look that I've gotten with my eggs and my baby chick. So cut this out. Just takes a little bit. Basically, it's the only part that I really have to take much time with is the actual carrot itself, because the leaves are going to be far enough away from each other. They're not going to stamp on top of each other, because I'm going to stamp a second carrot. And a lot of the carrot will be hiding in the basket. All right, so let me find the little backing. Cover that up. And stamp another carrot. And take our masking paper off. Look at that. It looks like that one is behind the first one. I'm not going to throw that away yet because I got another card to make. All right. So when I lay my basket on here, looks like I have a basket full of fun. So let's color. I have a Daffodil Delight, Darling Duckling. I colored the duckling with the darling duckling, of course. So I was telling you about the hybrid black ink. I haven't gotten to play with it yet. I think it's coming in my order that's coming. Okay, I'm going to color that. That. Where's my extra one? Right here. I just colored them all a lot. I didn't try to get fancy or anything. So you'll be able to use both the stamping blends and the watercolor pencils or any kind of technique that you're going to use with water with that hybrid black ink pad. So there is some discussion that it may work better with the white willow cardstock as opposed to basic white, but I'll have to get back to you on that one because I haven't gotten to play with it yet, and I certainly hope not because I don't have white willow and I don't really plan on investing in 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm adding some darker details to my carrots just to give it some depth. And when you color over it again, then it blends that. I'm telling you, these blends make you look like you know what you're doing. Okay. And that's the daffodil. That's the dark darling duckling. Here is the light darling duckling. Give my little baby chick. Everybody thinks baby chicks are yellow, but they are not all yellow. Some are white. Some are black. And sometimes they grow up to not look like what they were when they came out of their eggshell. Because that's the way nature is. Get a little texture. And we've got some zigzags with shy shamrock. I didn't pull out the list to remind myself which colors. I think shy shamrock may be retiring. But we're getting 5 new in colors, which is normal. And I was going to tell you another ink pad story. They will be in magnetic ink pads. And what do I mean by that? I mean the case is magnetic, metal and magnets. So when you open them, the top, the lid can sit beside the ink pad, under the ink pad. They, of course, stick together. So you won't lose your ink pad, and they're easy to open. Easy to open. That's been one of the big complaints that people have about our current ink pads. They open like a compact, and if you remember that, sometimes that's your first step of getting them open. But if you just start struggling with them, sometimes people have a hard time getting them open. And if they're pretty new and pretty tight, then it's a little bit of a challenge to get them open. I've got one that gives me bad time all the time. All right, let's do something. I have dark crumb cake, but I just don't like the way this rabbit's looking. He looks kind of sad. Let's color him. Because you can color even on our colored cardstock. And I think that's what he needs. And I should have colored his nose pink too. Because it did work to color the inside of his ear. My daddy raised rabbits. We had white ones. I won't tell you the whole story. Because they were actually meat rabbits. We didn't spend a lot of time playing with them because when you have a farm, most of the time you're raising things to eat. Let's just get it out there. So you don't become real attached to it. It is going to be dinner later on. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me trim off the extra around this. I gave them a pretty big piece because I'm going to die cut the bunny and my extra egg. And I usually will put those on a smaller magnet so they're not having to figure out which die cut am I supposed to be using for this. I try to make my classes enjoyable. Sometimes I'll do a lot of the die cutting if I think it's going to take a long time. This was one that you saw the basket I had already die cut. Because if you had to go to the die cutting machine before you could ever start coloring or doing your stuff, your stamping, the classes can go on pretty long. And I do have other things I want to do, and so do my ladies. Now, I'm going to have to move you up a little bit. I'm kind of picky. I like to get these things lined up. And I'll go ahead and put the top on it and put it in the die cutting machine. I'm not going to bring it over under the camera. You'll know what the die cutting machine looks like. I'm using my mini one. So I use just retired washi tape to hold those frames in place so they don't just slip and slide everywhere. The washi tape, as a rule, isn't real sticky, so it doesn't damage your paper when you very carefully pull it off. All right, so we've got our bunny, we have our extra egg, we have our basket. Oh, come on. Cute little bow. So the first thing we need to do is kind of figure out where we want our circle to go. So we can, figure out where we want our bunny to go. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stick the circle on first. Nothing fancy here, just good old adhesive on the back. If I can get the hold of it. So I'm just using Stampin' Seal. I already kind of know where I want it. The basket is also pretty much adhered flat. I don't want to use dimensionals for it because I'm going to use dimensionals for the rabbit. And I only put my adhesive around the bottom edge because I have that egg that I want to slide in right here. And so if I had put adhesive at the top, I would not be able to do that. I'm using the putty end. Sometimes I can't get my fingernails to work. I just got my nails done yesterday and kind of have to wear them down so they'll work for me. So cute. And my bunny is going to go on dimensionals, and I'm going to use the edges of my sheets. Surely you guys do that. I think nearly every video I've done lately, I've used the edges of my sheets. And so, see, I can kind of sneak that straight edge up that ear, so the ear will have a little bit of dimension under it. I probably need another piece. Let's not get too carried away. Just use zigzaggy edge. Nobody really cares what the back of your bunny looks like. As long as it's getting the job done, we're good. So I'm going to put the bottom of my bunny pretty much even with the bottom of the basket. Look how cute that is. Alrighty, here is my Hello Spring. And I cut it out by hand just because I didn't want a straight label. And I just kind of used the shape of the sentiment. Nothing magic here, nothing special. It gave it some movement. Because if you just do things straight, they're just straight. But if you kind of cut and move along, it gives you this sensation of movement, a little bit of interest. And I just did it flat. Yep, did it flat. Okay. And yes, I'm using some contraband. But any of my adhesives. Okay. Throw this away. And I want to put that, tie that bow on there. Come right there. And embellish it with the Easter assortment. So for this card, you have learned the masking technique. And I think that's about the only thing really special or different that is on this card, other than kind of how to create a scene on a busy background by a spotlight, kind of a spotlight technique. And these things are just gonna, how do I want to do that this time? Kind of wish they were butterfly shaped because I think I need butterflies, don't you? Right. That is going to get it. Let me add the third egg to these down here. Alrighty, so those are my two Happy Spring. And on the inside of this one, I had stamped wishing you a lovely day because I thought let's just use it as a sweet stopping by to say hello card. And so that was what I had for you today. And I appreciate your time. And let me know if you need a catalog. And please stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.